Life when you just yum to loan ye jelly, trouble said there by each of their mother, come when you just simply son settlement. Then I like when we give Jayasa, true Jayasa, Jayasa, there's all alone to let you. Then you never each of
So in the course of his journey towards the ocean, and then he reached to the beautiful city, actually a huge big city, and in which it is said that there were the damsels, you would say damsels, the divine lady. There were the 200 damsels, they were there, and then actually he were actually enjoying with them for 200 years, it is said. Why? Because that, and in his youthful time when he did business, started his business, he earned 200 kashapani, and which he gave to his mother. So that is the actually result of his giving his earning money to his mother. And in similar way, actually, as he gave his earning money 400, 600, 800 kashapanis to his mother, and then result of which, and then gradually he came to reach another place where actually enjoy with the 400 numbers of the damsels, and then later again 600, 800. So which actually went on.
There's some guy who jog call the country and go to the court. Then Sepun and Lai Neshivarisha.
So in the course of his journey, then eventually he reached to hell realm, where he found that actually they were, of course, enormous the human beings were the suffering, but one of them particularly suffering of spinning wheel over his head all the time, iron wheel over his head all the time, and then to which actually he pitied, or he actually felt actually compassion towards that person, and then thought that how wonderful it would be if actually that will moved on to my head and spin on my head instead of his, if I can take his pain. So the moment he thought in this way, the will shifted actually to on his head, and then it turned a bit. So because of the turning the iron wheel on his head, he passed away. And then it is said that actually he was born into heavenly realm.
The Kahia de Colo de Tombo, Colon go to call me a colot. The color go let her do. Then some Jews some gum by each other, some Jews go, Nasan Yomugupa, yet young to some do. The pen them take along some color Mukhorchos, Sepu.
So first, actually, we wish that the wheel would turn on his head, and then because of that wish, actually, wheel actually came over on his head and keep on turning, and then while the iron wheel was turning on his head, then he was actually generating the enlightenment thought, thinking that all the pains on the head, whoever may actually experience this type of the pain may shift on me, or may actually it's fall on me. So when he thought this, then the iron will stop spinning, and then he died, and then after his death, he was born into the heavenly realm.
So don't let the leg and devil leg of America, Sendel Menke, Shivashima Menke, Shivashima Penchel Menke, so Madame Moyer, Tinone, Sendel Menke, so you Yamaka, Shisa, never chamber, Amanda Canjuno. Then Samba, trouble. Tele go here, just a conga. Amal had to tombo in Kurku, Jema, Control Dopan. She do like him, don't jump church, and they can never come with set element.
So in fact, when we talk about the action of the karma, there are three different kind of actions, a lesser type of the actions which bears the fruit after many lifetime, and then a mediocre type of the action which bears the fruits or result after some time in the next life. There are sort of intense type of the action which bears fruits within this life itself. There are three different kind of actions. Since with the in the case of this Janu Pomo, he immediately sort of the yelled result of his action, because the object to whom he did action was the great or the powerful, because an object was his mother, and usually it's the mother, triple gem, and one's guru. If the object then that the karma or the action bears the fruit very soon.
Teba Chambula Lamla Sam Jondu. This was Yon Trainer Payonda. Something really made them about me, but yes, sir. Something really Yante Pomade to Nedro Season. See this of George, some good on Chantana. Pentuchas.
So generally, when one engage into the practice of the Buddhism, if one could actually just think about the helping sentient beings by clearing away their miseries, sufferings, or their pains, and then agonies, or helping them through creating happiness, and then or perfections and wealth to them. This kind of actually thought could be brought into your mind during your practice. It would be beneficial. So it is even advisable to just repeat the lines of the word in the Bodhisattvacaryāvatāra as it is here, and then I will bestow all sort of the happiness to the sentient beings, or I will clear away the miseries of all sentient beings, as it is in a root text.
Today, present the Hirakambuhin, say Yen, Kambuhin, so Palm Yona Mayon, Room Sulan, the depends on here. Sado Johnson, Chon, Tumbalan, the Adam. Longi Pado, Mater, Yenji, Bule, Shambi Sam Chambuyan, can read the young Teleon Shonju Sambi Sam, that I will some no Yama, each of the pensem. Sulan, the pensem. Pamado, Jebi. Something Sula, then I pensem. Dunga Tamje Mebashi, Deva Tamje Yabachi Samba, Sukun, something Sukun, Yoma, somebody.
So now the benevolence of the bodhisattvas are so great that actually that transcend all sort of actually love of the benevolence that you could have from your mothers and others. Like as it says in a root text, that even your parents, the loving parents, they lacks that kind of benevolence to help you sort of get rid of all sufferings and help you obtain all sort of happiness.
Then, Ronle Ganshab Shenke, La Tronfon said to Demba Chomba Kenke, Sado Metende, Tronson on Leon, Sentin Chombo, Yevi Terry, the Tezol and the Same, Tomba Sankete, Shambado Nija Gamdu Hinchiri, Teleon, Shonju Sam did Abu Yadam Chit Mess.
And it further explains that even the divine beings or gods actually who could give a sort of temporary protection to you, and the sage rishis, munis, who usually actually practice in telling truth, and the Brahma who believe to engage into the practice of the compassion and loving kindness. But even these, the god rishis and Brahmas lacks this kind of benevolence or bringing thought of bringing benefits to the sentient beings. Rishi.
Samchen teda ni la ngan rong tan ton de san. Pama la so pe samchen teda la ngan che. Rong dan to rong yi yo. Ko ga du tham che pon song che ko hon to gu sam ban de da sam. Ni mo ngu su ma ze sam mo malam to ma mi de de che ma nyu ba ji yina. Yin samchen tan do. Tena samche tham che song che sala ke gu sam ba kala che te. She tu ma le sum.
So it further explains how rare actually is the occasion where you actually generate enlightenment thought. So it says that the sentient beings, even for themselves, they do not have a kind of actually thought to get themselves rid of this samsara or the misery of samsara, and how could actually they, even if in a dream, it says, even in a dream they have never sort of thought of, or they have never dreamed of actually helping them getting rid of this misery of samsara. So what need of actually need to talk about helping other sentient beings?
Yanda wrong tan to minjun samchen tan sam ko. Samchen chen cheban de ngana me bi mech. Yanda samchen yanda chungchu samba mai ba yanda. Rongdan to tenga tan minjun wi. Samchen tan sanche tham che songje sala ke gu sambi sam kong yin ba de samje rinpoche re che rinpoche sala. Rindong chenpo do gambo tan da re. Cheba de po ban de Nana maybe tenga but majuvi met san water jig chung de sheber his.
So it further explains this, that the wondrous or the wonderful the thought actually rose into your mind. So here wondrous thought actually referred to the enlightenment thought, which other sentient beings don't have, like other sentient beings, means sentient beings who are not other than the bodhisattvas. Even if for sake of oneself, if they don't generate or create enlightenment thought, and what need to say about generating enlightenment for thought for the other sentient beings. So this kind of the enlightenment thought, which is like a jewel, precious jewel. So this precious jewel-like enlightenment thought, a wonderful thought, is rose into one's mind. So since this enlightenment thought is very meritorious, beneficial, and because of that, it sort of bears meritorious fruits.
Roa kenji gawi ju, roa ken sana nyering maybe samche tamche che, gawa sara sam gawa ton lu dewa nyinga kochi, lu dewa ton sam gawi ju yon samche yi, samche tamche dungal, lu dungawa ton sam yi me dewa nyinga re. Meba chebi, dunga ka neta meba chebi, dosita, meta churuba dewa, shonju samjin ta, prenche samji saram teta hu, pedo chembo chengenge, samji saram kong tela chetara yajilong. lohi yarmano se tonka meisum.
Since this enlightenment thought actually is cause of the physical physical happiness and the mental the bliss of all the sentient beings without discrimination, and since this enlightenment thought is also a medicine which clear away all sort of the miseries of the sentient beings, so these enlightenment thought resemble to precious jewel which yields enormous fruit. So since it has extensive the merit, no one can measure it or no one can calculate it. So up to here we dealt with the benefit of the generation of the enlightenment, aspiring enlightenment thought, and then from here now we will deal with the benefit of generation of the venturing enlightenment.
Samji sarang usu lalai maja sampi samba samji chong sonje mombole yan rimbo chedze mombu cheba powale cheba to papa yi songyo resum.
So now it is said that even actually just harboring intention in your mind to help other sentient beings, even actually without engaging into the action itself, just having a thought in your mind exceed the merit of it is exceed the merit which you acquire from making offering to Buddha.
Sonja tamchale cheba ja chambu kubale jong yarimbo sonja tamche deva no dembar jurus sam tenji samna saram chegre sumare.
So just once or instantly bringing a thought in your mind to help the sentient beings is a far more greater, the merit which is a far more greater than the merit you acquire by making an offering to the Buddha.
Samba tamle tres saram chambayana samche malu tamche devi tandu teba chemgu lamle nuzu tan chorum sung jimbatong to sam gansom che tele chebala sanam chembo yeba ta muchum kubares.
So if only harboring a thought in your mind to help the sentient beings has this much the merit, so what is there to need of to talk for helping other sentient beings by your action, by studying, by contemplating, and by the meditating way?
So there's a tujan lole yana pendo chambo yasare tene bana samchen lo robando chi chedu chine sonda samche maru tamche ji dedan chambo muji ku bana shambi sem kechi gana sonja le yana cheba pola sanam cheche bole tele samche tejin samche ku gona samche le jimba chi tona len chi tona sonja le cheba le sanam chewa yaba kera.
So generally, it is very helpful if one has these verses in mind, and then one can actually sort of recite or repeat anytime actually one feel like doing practice. Since actually these words are so powerful, actually explaining that just having a thought in mind, helping others is so great, that which is greater than they having made an offering to the Buddha, and more meritorious is just actually not only thinking in your mind, but actually you actually put that into practice, just giving some sort of charity to the destitute people with the enlightenment thought in your mind, that is enormous, that bears enormous merit.
Dan yuba samche dega laka mombo shegres, chesa sanam chambu yares.
So now it will explain that the venturing enlightenment thought has so many the actions or activities. Because of that, actually, it is also meritorious.
Dugan donda samye chonse. Samche kanda jina dondo yina yo dugan thonda yamare. Dugan shungna ten joba meba chona sangi hori chesa dugan donda samye res. Yina yo dugan dorton dori tap kanda gumakine. Dugan ni lembala number jutu years.
Even the animals, they actually don't sort of long to experience sufferings. They always actually they wish to abandon the sufferings. But they lack the wisdom because of the ignorance. They always actually follow run after this suffering, and they pursue whatever actually the non-virtuous action they do by their ignorance thought. So the word here, we have timuk in Tibetan, that is ignorance. So it is said actually, due to the power of the ignorance, even if you long to obtain the happiness, but you always actually run after the cause of the suffering. So it further explains that even if all the sentient beings, they always want to acquire happiness, but they lack the wisdom, and because of that, they always actually just eradicate the cause of happiness that they have, just like they do for their enemy.
Laka kar yena chu yena getem laka yena ti miurde duhan meba cheba don deva yeba cheba don chegi yena yo tene tege deva drupa don duhan ndorwa she tu mudu de ti tap he mi hil rale.
So it is for certain that whatever the action that you undertake, your objective is always to sort of get rid of the negative part of it, and then obtain sort of happiness and the positive side of it. But because of the ignorance, because of the lack of the wisdom, you would actually always go to the sort of opposite side.
Chu mi ke nong ge duhan meba she gogu samne ti table diba so ya res chaza duhan meba she gogu sam ti table duhan chu lenge yo re chebare.
Those who don't understand the true meaning of the Dharma, and the so-called the practitioners, even though they think that they need to clear the sufferings, but because of not knowing the right means and method of clearing of the sufferings, they always actually add more suffering on them.
There no ye there top go samne yomoti tandale yom mega se
in a similar way, even those who actually think that I should acquire more happiness, more, through that also they add more suffering on them.
Tate dungal meba sheba don dewa yewa sheken de gen gishema soso ge timu de sheba re cheba tena Slanam Lena, we can not share so to move Chevy. Just a sunshine on there. Do not drink, they were maybe checking it. The moon chamber over there.
So there aren't any, physical force, external physical force, which create happiness to oneself or which add more suffering on oneself. But if there is something which create happiness and then clear with the suffering, is the ignorance itself.
That's what you send something to the car, Shegurshana. Something do chamber, they may be Shegur. Do her Momboy, they may be she. They were Yamari, they ever she, like a some Shegur.
So the main sort of the task of the Bodhisattvas here lies three main tasks. They are that since all the sentient beings are full of the ignorance, the enormous ignorance, because so the first task is to clear away the ignorance of the sentient beings, and then the second task of the Bodhisattva is to clear away the suffering of the sentient beings, because sentient beings has enormous suffering, and then third is the sentient beings has no ultimate sort of the happiness. So the third task is to bestow the ultimate happiness to the sentient beings.
Kunki deva pumbado, samchen kunki deva pum deva meba. Dungan mendana, dungan mombodon temba. Deta samche telala, deva menken le, samcheno geva trupchune. Deva kenji tsemberchi. Dungan mombo yeva tenale, megevile pon chusene. Dungan tamche cheberchi. Timuchon tambi chuhye sene. Timuchon several sheba. That type of like a something, they don't tumbi, some shit they don't tumbi, they don't give a tumba color again and base.
So in a verse here, in Tibetan verse, it again explain the same thing, like those sentient beings who has enormous the suffering, to them the bodhisattvas will always actually satisfy the sentient beings with all sort of the happiness, happiness actually, which is the result of the virtuous action. And then sometimes they also clear away the misery of the sentient beings by helping them to abandon their non-virtuous action, and then by giving them the teachings or sermons explaining the benefits of the practice. Bodhisattvas would always help sentient beings to get rid of ignorance. So if bodhisattvas has this kind of the qualities, then these qualities cannot be compared by any other actually qualities or virtuous actions.
Shonchu Samba Tendavi, he is an Trobo Yobo, Yan Le Kawaye, Sanam Tendayon, Shonchu Sanam Tendayon, Yanda, Sanam Yandala Kalayas.
So in addition, it says that actually, are there any other sort of the friends who can actually give all sort of these kind of benefits to you other than bodhisattva? Or are there any other actually merit or any merit is actually greater than this, the merit is, which is endowed or given by the bodhisattvas?
That then they care in Samchi Yankin Shonchu Sambatel, Shonchu Sam, Yande, Shonchu Sambal Tebaku.
So now from here, it will deal with the quality of the bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas, those who are endowed with the already explained enlightenment thought.
Tombo Tere Jumse Meba, Davre, Par Penta, but Jumse Meba, Shonchu Sambasan Penta.
So the first first quality of the Bodhisattva is that actually without expecting the repay of the sentient beings, they always engage into benefiting sentient beings.
Shonchu sema mai batas we gyanda le pen pardon de ngama long le tu pen taba train ya bat di train lemba yona ne roba sheru chi se kurma shana tenu roba sheba tende shegi yoros member train meba sheru chi maje pa pen tong ke yo ma re.
Other than the bodhisattvas, usually the ordinary sentient beings, they either benefit sentient beings by kindness, or if they are asked by some others to help them or to benefit them. But bodhisattvas, without actually expecting any kind of repayment, they would always engage into that.
Chonchu sambatul pen taru chi se rewa se gumare par ngama pen taw gumare ngama pen taw he ne chen ke khande yina yo konga ke roba chi kre chore.
So bodhisattva is the one who never expect or the wait for the sort of the repay of their kindness, or they never wait for anyone to request them to do something, or they don't discriminate whether the person whom they are going to benefit is their friend or enemy. So without having any kind of sort of the discrimination, they always engage into beneficial work.
Kana chonchu sema mai prajaran par phe ne ba chen ke draina tele pen tablu so ya ma chonchu sema cheva mandus konga pen tablu.
For instance, for the ordinary beings, if the enemies who create sort of actually cause problem to oneself, and they will never be actually sort of helped by that person. But the bodhisattvas, so even if one is they created sort of problem by others, they always actually as a response they always help.
Penta lenda koyin ba nga par pen down di lenda trenen che ba koni mi mite rehi ngo ba res te long ngo chen ke par pen to ba zu len chen ke re chen sem che yo zi res te yina par pen ma ta roba che ro chen ma chori kendo roba te lebar sheba roba yobo sheba te ta bi chonchu sambala te ba prugo ba mo chigos.
Since the person who repay for the kindness for others, if he or she is worth of the praise or worth of actually adoration, then what need to say about the bodhisattvas actually, who without even actually asking by others, they always engage into helping others.
This one, Bena Jitena Mishubana again the Jimbatonkin Tessalin, Maja Sheriores, Jimbatonkin. They Yanate Chonchu, someone of General Chambotana Yamaran Satina, General Chambu in Johnson, they were poor.
So now with the following verse, I explain that bodhisattvas are the great, actually generous, because in worldly life, like benefactors or the supporters, if somebody give you something, then you have to be grateful to him or she. So bodhisattvas, they always actually engage into giving something to others, like they become a greatest sort of benefactor.
Janda Chambo Special Pen Roa News Sana made Janda Kaihenda. Nalmi says Janda Kaihege Lo Davata Vayona Misirin Table Jamaton Ketanda Yajrin. Tell Nalmi says to set Tongayanke. Then Jambaton to set the Keti Sana Lenchi Nimara Sare Egon Tabo. Jinju Teo said Samchi, Rumbochana with the Maiva, Sama Samchi, Jimbachi. Jenton Teo, near Judon Chevicona, Koshuba Yinta, Ubol, near Judon Kugungia, near Judon Cheba. Pentul Teo, Janimbo Pematoki, near Sam Dron Sheba. That Abu gave us Shenken Teo, gave us Shenken Yins, and then she will Namchi, Google Kuki.
So the following the verse says, to the limited number of the sentient beings. Here it says limited number, or the any number might be the hundreds or something. And then if to the limited number of the sentient beings, if you one give the food for some time, food for a week, month or year, that also only food, not other actually precious things. Okay, and then while giving this food to the others, if you use the wrong method, like you are scolding and scorning with a scornful way, if you gives it to somebody, and that food will fill the person's stomach just for a mere half day or something. And then for that kind of person also, and people are grateful because he actually engaged into practice of giving, and he is always praised and respected.
Shonju Sambege is in Saga Samchete. Don't tire, but don't remember. Don't tire.
So now here with this verse, actually we are comparing the action of the ordinary sentient beings and bodhisattvas. So now whereas bodhisattvas, when they give charity to others, they are filled, their object is the incalculable the sentient beings.
Do to Sanang Hamano again to say Nigu to Satochi, but do Jan Rimbo Palma Chabachimaton.
And they engage into the charity work for long time, not only a day or week or so, but they always actually engage into the charity work.
Samata Maiba, Deva Hip Deva, Sonje Deva, Lana Mepa Jengi Res, Sonje Kohon Jengi Res.
And Bodhisattvas not only gives the food, but Bodhisattvas gives the perfect the happiness of the enlightenment.
Pentu Chabar Nishi Tam Romba Pelava, Samjegi Yila Samba Tamja Zubrsheba is.
If it is in the case of the ordinary being, he just give a food for filling one's stomach for half days. But Bodhisattvas gives all that one can actually wishes or one can bring into one mind.
Taught Jimba, then Jitemi gave out a local hand of the Chonju Semiti Jimba, the thought of Tongue had that type of Jimba, Chonju Semi Jimba there, Moja Shu, but that much he goes.
So ordinary beings, when they involve into the giving charity to somebody, they do it for a short time. But the bodhisattvas, they always actually involve into it, all the time. So because of that, so there's no, it is needless to say that bodhisattvas are the actually greatest and benefactors. So now it explains that because of that, the bodhisattvas will become filled of accumulating enormous merit.
공기 된리 자세 전달라 같은 현상 제벌제벌데 미 공기더래 미수 공기게 된다위 전달 전부 종주 선마다라 자세 전달 전부텔라 가시 년샘시 공조시 메가 샘시 버시나 제벌데 년샘시 종견도 년샘 살가세 시야나 디 총가게 깔바 대니지 냐와나 네버린 줄와 인기 도에 숨버레스 이나 디바소사 켄요 키라 전부 인숨버.
So the following verse says that the one who harbors any kind of evil thought in one's mind towards the Bodhisattva, who is the greatest benefactor, because of that kind of actually harboring evil thoughts to the Bodhisattvas, one would go into hell and remain in a hell realm as long as the number of the evil thought that one harbor in one's mind, which is expounded by Buddha.
제가 테바 첨부로라 니바 체후데 종주 선발 공조시 현재 제부터 소인송지.
So, in the viewpoint of the Mahayana principle, the most biggest or the greatest non-virtues is scorning or disrespecting the Bodhisattvas.
다 종주 선발 예부 휴나 간데 사람 저그르잖아. 한테 공기 이랍 동시에나 미공기 미카히게 소이나 종주 선발 이랍 동때 대바세바이나 대바세바티 내부터 대외라서나 냐마 공조세비 니바텔레 종주 선발에 대바세비 사람한테 책을 했습니다. 공조세는 니바 전부 열에 될래요. 대바세나 사람 책을 했어.
So, however, the person who build the devotion in one's mind towards the Bodhisattvas, the result of that is far more greater than the result one acquired from harboring evil thought towards Bodhisattvas.
너는 숨바이나 쇼주 선전의 그 미단화나 네바 책을 해서 대래 좀 쇼주 선바지를 마간에 미 로버테나 미루테나 네바 책을 해서 용 쇼주 선전도는 미 공간을 미대화나 대래 쇼주 선바 대비고는 미지 때나 대사람 책을 해서.
So in one of the sutra, actually, it is said that, of course, just taking out the eyes of the sentient beings from their socket, actually, is enormous, that bears enormous non-virtue. Even greater, a non-virtue is just looking at the bodhisattvas with contempting way or disrespect way, gazing at the bodhisattva with a scornful way, so the result is much more greater than the taking out all the eyes of the thousand beings. And a similar way, gazing at the bodhisattvas with respectful way bears greater merit than the giving eyes back to the thousand people or the beings.
자세 나라 도더 첨부 조 디바면 조 개왕 온급해 종주 선반노라 도더 첨부제 간데 강을 주나요 소를 바바다고 미가 세바다고 강을 주나요 디 쳔베 디바면 조 마세 디 쳔베 개왕 온급해 놓기요레스 다바 개와 수업 사람 첨부죠. just his on just another door chamber. Door chambers and a kangar chamber shuna. The chamber chunchu semi deeper song mare. The chamber gave up and
so the Bodhisattvas has such a quality that actually no matter actually what circumstances they encounter, even if actually they are in a trouble or they encounter with so many difficulties, so because of that their quality will never diminish, but it will always actually enhance.
The mobile song pena so San pena so chip. You know so began dog Domba, Kuma Sebando, Signamba Lavando Cashunayo. Take a control machine, Robert teach and be given Roach, Seku, the injury.
So usually it is said that actually if one is actually given actually trouble by others by beating or by scolding and then saying bad words to oneself, so because of which actually one should one should make it to be a kind of actually the facility to increase more the negative or negative thought or non-virtuous thought. But instead actually this should be taken. The circumstances, actually negative circumstances, should be taken as a lesson through which you can increase your own virtuous action.
Pena chunju sembale chutim chavi chen shuna di jembe chutim yaru doge. Chutim lasu geva mombo rubi chenshi. Tene kondro onge shuna kondro majebse dipatan majunche geva zeba lasu geva mombo pergu yoresumre.
So for instance, it is said that actually bodhisattvas, if they are somebody who actually, try to rouse anger for the bodhisattvas or causes bodhisattva to feel angry, and instead of feeling angry, getting angry to that person, and the bodhisattvas will always use that circumstances to increase the merit, merit which is created by not getting angry to others. And in a similar way, if any circumstances happens which will cause bodhisattvas to break their the ethics or break their moral discipline, and then instead of actually breaking their moral discipline, they will work hard on actually protecting it, and in that way they will enhance or increase their merit rather than decreasing or diminishing it.
Do jing sung du pena kumma so so jalo thusuna central cheje maris te tele thobar churchi some te jimba in some jimba chan resum.
In one of sutras it is said that actually if one is robbed of by the thief of the robbers one's possession, then one should always think that actually that possession is obtained by that robber thief, or I have given it as a charity. So if you think that will increase the merit.
Te tene date pento chempo chenken lama le yao che yin tengu yo song je gu ko njoba topi tap che song.
So even one should think that actually that particular enemy or the robber is the more actually sort of kind than the one's guru, because actually that the robber facilitate wants to attain the Buddhahood in swifter or quicker way.
Then so say una yo say yana yo di jembe lubo me go meje ngok me go meje samle nyeba meba she gu les
Even somebody comes and then strike on oneself and then try to kill oneself, and one should always actually try to not to create any kind of non-virtuous thought or action by your body, your mind, and your speech.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, we'll stop here. During the explanation of the benefits of the bodhicitta,
Kongla samji tamba rinchen te jeba te ikula chansri. Kongla nepa se jung denrewa devin ju netla chalsucha. Kongla sana, kongla. Samji tamba. Shungjuk sande sam tomje bi yao xiu yin ta samji tamba shibar. Yin gedan she bi samin ta samji tamba. Tege ndaran drubana Rinpoche ta. Samji tamba Rinpoche jeba te ikula san kongza te ikula sule chongju samji na tere changcha ge
So here in the course of the explanation it is said that actually I bow down to the one who is endowed with the body which is arisen through the generation of the enlightenment thought, which is supreme enlightenment thought, supreme in terms of not only for oneself but actually helping all the sentient beings, and then which is priceless because which accomplish the purpose of others. So one who has these kind of bodhicitta, I bow down.
Kongla nepa she chung shungju samba kongla par nepa she chung Deva Thunder, through Deva Jinke, Deva Chepa Shinke, Yenta, Kong She, Shonchu Sambalatana, Devanju Hindu, Ariawa Huna, Devanju, Dubo Huna, Devanju, Devin Juna, Dela Chapsuchis.
So further it explains that one will bow down to the Bodhisattvas who is endowed with the quality which is a source of the happiness and benefits, whether you respect or whether you act favorably to the field or you put a harm on it, but indiscriminately bodhisattvas will always give you the happiness. So to such a being who is endowed with this bodhicitta, I bow down.
Shonchu Sambale nepa she, ngen sam she, nepa she na. Tene, ngen sontu ro, yemi ye sumbale. The sosu pa nepa she bayin sa ti nrevo. Shonchu Sambate niji top ge, tene nam hina ti gungza tala. Deva unju ye re sumbale.
So
Shonchu Sambi top. Jibo Nieban Juan Karunk, Niba
So it also explained that actually if one harbors evil thought towards the bodhisattvas, then that will actually yield a negative result to oneself. But bodhisattvas, actually due to his compassion and loving kindness towards all the sentient beings, one will also yield positive benefits from it.
Tana leu gmiri, shungchu sambi chebalan jubala, leu juye gnune. Shungchu sambi penya heba hese leu tombu yes.
The Bodhisattvacaryāvatāra contains 10 chapters. So among the 10 chapters, the first chapter, which is known as the benefits of generation of enlightenment thought, has been explained.
Tana shungchu samte juche mombo ji che yore pena samche ge pen turang che yore tene 인제게 온 제그리 송제도 종주 선반은 대화 정보 중에서 대소 제게 말이 선제 제그리 이다요 대바 챔그 람 주르비 삼시 이에나 초가라 때는 제고 여러서 제서다 초가 해요.
Actually, there are many ways, or through many ways that the bodhicitta give birth into one's mind. One of them is compassion. Through the compassionate mind also bodhicitta arises within mind. And then through the devotion or through adoration to the Supreme Beings also give birth to the bodhicitta. But there are the bodhicitta enlightenment thought which are only arises after having acquired ordination or vow. So here actually with this chapter in the beginning it explains how to sort of acquire, receive the bodhicitta vow.
When gewale damba yimbi gewato tema yimbi gewale parmi gewastari gewale ni di balon tele.
For instance, for both virtues and non-virtues, there are two different kinds can be understood. The one is just virtues, which is associated with the vow or ordination. Another is the virtue, neutral virtue.
Pena parmi gewa sangita sol rebu ungirete pena theba member ina themenge damba mena thaba thotumari theshen ina chonchu sam damba mena thaba thotumari.
Though with the virtues action one will yield benefits or they will result from it, but if it is not associated with the vow, then one cannot get the liberation. If it is in the case of the Hinayana or the lesser vehicle, if they don't have the vow of the lesser vehicle, they can't actually gain the liberation of the lesser vehicle. In similar way, in the Mahayana also, without a vow, they cannot get the liberation of the Mahayana, though they can yield some result.
Shonchu sambi damba tele lusor in yores umak lu sansam lu sakichi.
So, explaining the bodhicitta, there are two traditions: the Madhyamika or the middle tradition, and then the Chitramatra, the mind-only tradition.
Oma lugete ludu keyo chua sunye bari. Dene sun bari shenju de. Oma lugu choga tesu.
So the rituals for giving the vow of the bodhicitta in accordance with the tradition of the Madhyamika actually originate from the Nagarjuna. So it is found, the ritual is found in the either in the Nagarjuna's text or in the Bodhisattvacaryāvatāra of the Shantideva.
Santam lu de pava tume thong zenda kombe tesu sun.
So whereas tradition which belongs to the mind-only school, which actually mainly taught by the Asanga and then Acharya Chandragomi.
Tene chonchu sembi damba shusate. Uma persona shusat lama. Cheden sedu teshen chule keba yebado chonchu sembi damba yenkenchi. Yente ni yenke direct kumden kyu. Tene lama tammandiba yena tene sonje chonchu semban kuzu gndane sosu hu chugu ya reche bodi chogade sosu longa chasong logo yi.
So the source or the field from which one obtained the vow of the bodhicitta in accordance with the Madhyamika, the view tradition of the Nagarjuna. It is said that actually one need to receive the vow from the perfect the teacher. The perfect teacher here refers to the teacher who is well versed into the teaching as well as the ritual through which he gives the vow, and then the teacher has to be endowed with the vow itself. So even if due to the circumstances, if these kind of teaching, perfect teachers actually are not available, then it says that you can also receive the vow from the image of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, but using the complete form of ritual.
Sanjambayam Lama the Gala Kawaja Zargu, Kasi Lama Zarmina, the Jembe Sosu Suklin Hayo no Trayana, Garden Chamboyana, Tene Kuzugnan Loma degradation.
So in accordance with the mind-only sort of tradition, it is said that actually you must try to find the master or the teacher from whom you obtain the vow of the bodhicitta, but due to certain sort of unavoidable circumstances, if that causes your life